Well, you have to understand, first of all, that Kill the Fall is not a band. Um, Kill the Fall is a mindset. Kill the Fall is something that defines you when no one else is looking. When you're by yourself on the internet. When you're with your friends and no one else believes the same thing as you do. It's the moments of pressure, you know, the moment of panic. Um, it's all about becoming more than you are and elevating to that next step in Christ. The name developed as like the fall, meaning like whatever it is that's holding you down, addiction or hate, fear, um, rejection, anything that holds you back and keeps you away from God is your fall, right? And Kill the Fall is just that. I believe that it's time that we stand up and stop brushing away our problems, but kill them. I know that's bold, and it may seem very radical, but it's time to stop talking about change and just do it. Kill the Fall means to break free. It means to let go and let God, essentially. Writing this album has been one of the most difficult things I've ever done in my life. I feel like every song has its own depth. Some people can interpret songs different ways and whatever. I think this music kind of pulls you in and it forces you to feel what the song is about. You can't listen to a song like Pulling Teeth and expect to feel something else other than what it's written about. I think the first song was probably Sic Semper Tyrannis, which translates from Latin, thus always to tyrants. The whole concept of the album really was built off of that song. I wrote it from the perspective of, as we're created, spirit, mind, and body, in that order. It was meant to be the spirit speaking to the mind and the body, essentially telling it to wake up and get with the program. Understand what's going on and let go and let God. Alright, so the way a one-man band works. First, you record a drum track. Then, you add some guitar. Then a little bit more guitar. Then more guitar. And then effects. And then you sing it. And you change the world. It's very difficult to be the one-man band. Sometimes it takes up to 20, from 20 to 50 tracks for one song. So it's difficult, and a lot of these songs were written as they were being recorded. A lot of these songs were just my mind spilling out on the paper, my heart bleeding through the pen. It was difficult because there's, although you hear so many different sounds throughout the album, this was recorded off of 2 instruments alone. There's a guitar and a keyboard, and any sort of special sounds that I had to create myself. The drum tracks are not just drum tracks that you hit the start button and whatever. They had to be customized and made to the song. So there's a track for the bass drum, there's a track for the snare, and there's a track for all the fill-ins and the cymbals and things like that. It's funny because there were times where I'm sitting at the keyboard and I'm just doing a bass drum, right? like just a certain track for bass drum. And I'm sitting there at the keys and I'm going, you know, following the guitar, trying to, I mean, it was insane. It's absolutely insane. And the technology was really outdated, just really outdated technology. As I was recording, I couldn't hear what I was recording through the keyboard and through the guitar. It was just like the sound that the keys made or the sound that the strings made off the guitar. Unless I was doing an acoustic track like Emily, for example. But other than that, it's an overall quiet process until you start singing. It's like you're breathing in sulfur! Woo. I had one microphone for this whole process, and about halfway through, the microphone started shorting out, so I had to hold it a certain way and wrap it a certain way so that I could sing. So I'm like holding the microphone like this, screaming into it, trying to watch the track and make sure that it's not messing up in any way, because I couldn't hear what I was recording, like to the certain effect of what I was recording. Certain echoes and certain reverbs were all done with the guitar pedal. To say that I recorded a full rock album with 2 instruments, I'd say that's an accomplishment. Yeah. I would get so frustrated because the stats on certain websites like Reverb Nation, you know, Kill the Fall has been #1 on Reverb Nation for almost 2 years straight. That's no joke. And you can go online and check that. Check my stats. KTF has just slaughtered the stats on Reverb Nation for 2 years, and it's been awesome. You know, I mean, we're talking like top 100 globally for 2 years. Since the first couple months that Kill the Fall debuted on Reverb Nation, I don't think that it's ever been under the top 100 globally. I know for a fact we've never been under the top 100 nationally, you know, in the whole United States. Never been anything less than the top 10, either regionally or locally. And all these stats were coming through, and I'm thinking like, man, this is great. Yeah, this is wonderful. And then I go on YouTube and there's like 11 views on a song that I posted 2 weeks ago. And I'm like, what's the deal? You know, like why is this happening? You pour your heart and your soul into something. And it's not so much about like, making music to get the views and to make it popular or anything like that. But it's just like, man, like 11 people? You serious? You know, and some people are commenting on Facebook and saying like, oh, I've listened to it so many times, and you're like, okay, so it's not 11 people, it's like 5 people. And it takes its toll, because like halfway through the project I'm thinking, is this even worth it? Like, why am I doing this? I got to the point in making this project, so much was going on in my personal life. Like I was in a relationship, I lost my house, the relationship ended, everything on every corner, like all 4 walls were closing in like this, and I'm sitting here trying to record a record, by myself. I would get off work, work 10, 12-hour days, whatever, and then I would come home and go straight to my, make a beeline for my room and record this record. And then I would come out to eat, say hello to everybody. I mean, as they came on, like, I didn't completely shut myself off, but it was enough for them to be concerned about my well-being. They set me down. They're like, "Yeah, are you okay? You all right?" And I'm thinking, like, yeah, I'm fine, but I'm not. It was crazy. Like, this whole album kept me from completely losing my mind. As we were approaching the release date, I had this idea to start doing live music. Even though there was no band and it's just me, why not try to do live music? Let's just add to the stress level and do some live music. So that's what I did. It's very difficult to try to get new listeners, because I'm trying to get people to follow links on Facebook. It's just like, it's like pulling teeth. It's very hard to do. You can't really advertise a rock concert without instruments. So, it's like, more or less, I mean, how do you advertise that? The last one I did, it was probably the most like energetic song on the album. It's called Bounce. And they were, some of the younger kids were getting involved and moving around, but like most everybody was just kind of like, like drool. It's like they didn't really understand what was going on, and it was just devastating. I was like, I never want to do this again, because it was essentially a silent crowd, like just dead silence. And I thought, like, man, like, I don't even want to put out the album at this point. Like, I don't, like, why? Like, am I doing this just so I can hear the music? Like, keep pressing on, you keep pushing. Well, now's I got established, I got a good job. Album is pretty much done as far as recording goes, so why not? Let's make a music video.
He's scared to death. You see it's rolling on his face.
So, the concept of this is everyone sitting in the church they've been there for a while, spiritually dead, pretty much. So, we're playing with that concept, taking everyone's beauty away. The whole point of the video is to graphically show you what the song is about. You get to step inside my mind for a second and see what's going on in there. All these people are in this church, and they've been there for a while. They're listening to this preacher, pastor, whatever, and he's clearly does not have their best interest in mind. Basically just a really bold video. It's very bold, very graphic too. So whenever it does come out, you get to watch it. It's I hope it shocks you. I hope that when you see it, you think like, man, that's intense. Like I wanted to try to leave something with the viewer that you normally wouldn't see in a Christian music video. I think that's important. Have things that aren't the status quo Christian thing to do, whatever that may be. I didn't want to make it light in any way. I didn't want it to be this sweet, innocent video where, Kill the Fall itself is not normal. So why should the music video be normal? We had this, there's this effect in the video where in order to make the audience of the church look more dead, we put there's these like this black gunk nasty stuff coming out of their mouths, so we have to test that out and make that. It's just gross. Because the whole video is supposed to make you think like, this is the church. I wanted the video to be a spiritual look inside of the church, for you to see in the spirit realm just for a second and see what it is that we've become as Christians, and even those who aren't Christians. I don't think you have to be a Christian to understand that the church is a bunch of nonsense right now. You don't look at church people and think like, oh yeah, those Christians, they're just the most loving, non-judgmental, sweetest people. Like, they just really show me Jesus. I don't think the church is anything like that, and it's time for the church to be exposed, and for those people to either put up or shut up, essentially, and that's what the whole video is about. We were lucky enough to get an awesome location. It's an actual historical landmark, which was perfect for what the video is talking about, is kind of a direct blast on traditionalism and religionism. That day was probably the most stressful day of my entire life, without question whatsoever. The night before, I did a wrestling show, got home around 1 o'clock, went to bed, got up at about 6:30, took a shower, and loaded up the car and went on to shoot the video. On the way to the video, one of my tires blew out, so drove on a donut on the interstate to the place we were shooting the video. I had to be like a anywhere from 14 to 16 hour day there, altogether. So I was exhausted, just like dead. Woke up the next morning, went to work for 10 hours. So to say that I was just like at my breaking point was an understatement. I'm just at the point in my life where it's like, if you're gonna do it, then do it. If you're not, then shut up and quit talking about it. Like, when it comes to Jesus, I've spent the better part of most of my life just completely like running, like finding excuses, like and stupid excuses as to why I can't give 100% of myself into this relationship with him. And I'm so done with that, because and it's funny because like I've spent the better part of my adult life like hating people who didn't put 100% of themselves into a relationship with me, yet I stand here doing the same thing to God and pretending that I'm justified in not doing exactly what it is that I've moaned about for 10 years. I'm over it. Battle cry to me is standing up against yourself. That's why on the cover it's me screaming at myself. I'm trying to kill the fall. I'm trying to murder what is left of the flesh, be bold and courageous in Christ, and get out what say what needs to be said and do what needs to be done, no matter what the cost. If it costs my life, then so be it. There's places in the world where, if they caught you listening to this album, you would die. It's that simple. The book of Ezra, chapter 10, verse 4, it says, "Arise, for this matter is your responsibility. We also are with you. Be of good courage and do it." That, to me, sums it all up. For those few people, I don't care if it's 10 or 10,000 at this point, whatever. For those people who truly understand the message, and the people who truly get what I'm talking about and what I'm trying to say, that verse is for you. Ezra 10:4, "Arise, for this matter is your responsibility. We also are with you." So, like, you're not alone in how you feel. Like, I wrote most of these songs in a very, very low place. Someday, the song "Someday" is a blatant reflection of that. "Keep Your Faith" with Yella. We wrote that song in the same situation. "Brave," same situation. The whole album is just about standing up and being who you were called to be. I believe that this generation can do mighty things. They're pushing this agenda. They call themselves the resistance, but I think to myself, like, what exactly are you resisting? Like, you're doing everything that they want you to do. Change doesn't come with burning down cities and looting stores and being the brat. It changes when you stand up and say, "No, I'm not going to be like them. I'm going to be somebody else. I'm going to be greater than that. I'm going to stand up against adversity and say, you know what, this is my people. This is what we believe. This is the God of my ancestors. This is who I am. And I will not be shaken. I will not be moved, because this is my responsibility. I'm not alone. I will be courageous, and I will just simply do it."